I see the red light. I'm going to start again to say good afternoon and thank you for coming to Powerhouse University. Okay, today's topic is going to be on how to get your listing sold. The reason why I wanted to touch on this topic is because we do have about 25 listings right now that are active in the office that represent about 25 paychecks. I mean, whether they're going to be Gerardo's, whether they're going to be Ladel's listings, Francis transactions, even when you get an acquisition that we remodel and turn around to the market, what are the steps that we need to take in today's market? Because this is pretty much falls into today's market category. As you probably know, a lot of us got into the business back in early 2000, and anything that we throw into the MLS, it will sell, okay? That is not happening anymore, okay? The real estate prices have kind of plateaued. They're not going high or up as they did for the last 5 years, okay? So I have no idea if it is consumer confidence. I have no idea if because the prices, the salaries have to catch up. You know, here in the Los Angeles area to where people can afford houses again. So they're kind of like in a waiting mode. Here's the listings, the sellers don't want to sell at a lower price, and we're going to wait until the buyers save up enough money to get them sold. So I'm going to start by letting you know that there was a lot of investors like ourselves, not like ourselves, but people that wanted to copy us, that do flips as well, that were only making like $5,000, $10,000 on a transaction, that flooded the market because they saw the real estate going up, so they got into the wagon, okay? And some of those people are caught in the middle where they thought that the market was going to continue to go up, and it didn't. So we are at that. So I'm going to start with one of the points and by the way, this is a report done by Mike Ferry, which he is in touch with thousands and thousands of real estate agents that are doing listings and sales on a daily basis, okay? He trained the top, real estate agents in North America. Well, on the number one point, and I'm not going to go every single point out of the ones Mike has, but you have a handout that you can review it later on. If you take a look at it, it says price set right the day that you take the listing. So when you get the listing, he says, so we're going to put this property on the market, make sure that you go and do a complete market analysis, right? And then once you know what the price of that competitive market analysis is, think about putting it over here. It says 3 to 5% below and list it at that price so it sells. Okay? So that will be one of the ideas. I get a market analysis. I gather that the price per square footage is this. I can multiply the square footage by the square footage of my subject property. And let's say that the property comes at $500,000. Instead of putting it at 500, I will put it for 475, 485, $15,000 below, so that way it would attract the majority of the buyers. The other one is that, he talks about in a pre-listing package to put a price reduction sheet. If the listing goes up on the market and it doesn't sell and it doesn't get any activity in the first 2 weeks, no showings, we miss the pricing. Okay, so on the 30th day, maybe you have to reduce the price. The next thing that he says is condition of the property becomes very critical in the sales process. Since there is more houses up for sale right now you're competing. When the market was hot was because there was only 1 or 2 houses in that neighborhood available. Now there is 5 and 7 and 8. So if you want to sell yours, your listing is the one that has to be looking better. So it's the one that have to have the new carpets, it's the one that have to have the windows, it's the one that has to look with the green grass, new paint. So the house have to be in very good shape. So that would be another thing that we have to take in consideration.
So selling as is probably would be bad?
Selling as is probably is not a good idea because somebody's going to offer you, there's going to be another seller that says, well, my house is better. Take a look at me. I'm all dressed up and, I have my makeup rather than I just got out of bed. Okay?
As long as you price it even lower market selling assets probably could still work, right?
It could still work.
Even instead of 3 to 5, maybe 20%,
Yeah.
That will still get
To an investor,
yeah.
To an investor. okay? But to the buying public that doesn't know how to repair a house, I'm gonna go to the market and I'm gonna say, wow, that house, they already did everything. It has brand new carpet, new countertop, the bathrooms are, new tile. Why would I get one that needs repairs when I can get the one that is fixed up and still try to negotiate a price of 5 to 10% below, The other one will be become a market expert, okay? And that one is for you to know, if you take a listing in the city of, Pasadena, you gotta make sure that you know how many houses are for sale, how many houses are coming on the market new, how many houses are expiring. So you take a look at that city, on a city by city, and then you look at it and you say, there's 80 houses for sale in the city of Pasadena, and there's only 20 being sold in any given month. So they have something called the absorption rate, meaning that if nobody else puts a house up for sale, and there's 90 houses in the market, and 20 sell, that's about 4 months supply of houses, right? They're talking that's when the market is hot, they usually talk about 3 to 4 months supply of houses, if nobody decides to list. Right now, the market is probably between 7 and 9 months supply.
Oh, wow.
So that's taking double, right? The time that once we put a house up for sale. So it becomes very critical that when somebody needs to sell, it is priced right so that house sells. Okay?
Yeah.
The other one of them is pre-qualified.
Sorry, how do you determine how much supply of houses? Is there certain stats you know how to run off of the MLS?
I am in the process of relearning because the matrix changed, and you need to find out, and you can run it by city. You need to find out how many listings are, total number of listings, right? Then you go and find out listings in a month, and what you do is you put the beginning date. We're in the month of March, so you can put February 1 to February 28 and find out how many houses sold on that month. Okay? So then you can use it and then divide how many houses are into the number of houses that sold.
Can you just call the title to provide that for you? They have that,
The title has how many houses recorded,
Yeah.
but at the same time they could be quick claim deeds between husbands and wives. The title companies sometimes call it as a closed transaction,
Yeah.
and it may not be the same number because we don't know how many houses are for sale, total for sale in any given city.
Yeah.
So you need to do it on the MLS, that is the houses that are for sale in the MLS versus the houses that are sold in the
But
MLS.
MLS only have, if you list the property MLS, you can find it. Some people list the property, but it's not an MLS, that means title company have more information.
Right, title company has information on what's sold.
Yeah, exactly.
But see, if not every house goes into the MLS and the title company shows that there were 40 houses sold in Pasadena, recorded,
Yeah.
and the MLS has 80,
Oh,
now it's gonna say that half of the houses sell in 1 month.
gotcha.
But we don't know that the other properties were advertised in the MLS. So, the title company doesn't show what's active. And the number that we're trying to find out is the number of houses that are for sale, and we only know that of the ones that publish in the MLS, and the houses that sold that were reported in the MLS, so we have a percentage. I'm pretty sure that if you were able to count the houses in the MLS for sale, plus the houses that are for sale by owner, for sale by sign, somebody calling like us and saying, would you like to sell your home to me? If you were to count that and then you count the title company's closing, that will probably be, but it's too much work. So we just use the MLS stats.
Whatever's in there. Right?
Whatever is in there, and it will give you a good indication that that is the consumption rate of property. So you need to become an expert on the market. So if you happen to take a house in Palmdale right now, a listing in Palmdale, there is houses for sale in Palmdale, plus the ones that the builders have. There's a ton of houses for sale, and there's not that many people buying and driving 2 hours to get to Palmdale when they can only drive closer and buy a house for the same amount of money. So, so all the people that were going east and west from the city of LA looking for cheaper houses, all of a sudden there are houses for sale now closer. The traffic is getting bad, so it says, hey, let's stay within town. Instead of driving all the way to Apple Valley, I'm gonna get closer and live in, Pomona or Rancho Cucamonga instead of going all the way up after the hill.